Nothing Happened by Sorcerer Tal. I cannot describe it. I must not describe it. I will not describe it. To give a face, a name, to a false thing is a sin that I will not commit. I will not allow that single thought, that image, to find a purchase in my imagination. And yet, I must tell a tale. As I have said, I will not tell you of what was not there. The farthest reaches of our primitive subconscious and the creatures that our minds drag up from these places do not exist, and I shall not describe them. But perhaps I could tell you the place where it happened, give you some small detail without giving you so much of a picture so as to stir your imaginations and perhaps evoke that superstitious horror that lurks hidden within. I was in this room. The walls were off-white, the paint only slightly scratched in a few small places to reveal the hard gray wood hidden beneath. There were 4 walls, a ceiling. There was a coffee table that sat before me in the center of the room. I will not speak of else that was in the room. As far as you were concerned, there were no ancient writings hidden beneath the white flaking paint. The runes of some obscene spell, cast long before the rise of man, and only now forcing its will into the room to make its ancient presence known. There were no leering faces or family portraits hung upon the walls, whose eyes seemed to hint of unseen horror just outside of view. I will not speak of horrors that were not there, of indistinct shapes that seemed to retreat from your eyes, escaping your vision just before they are truly seen. Instead, I stared at my fingertips, memorizing the small bits of white flaking paint and silvery scraps of hard gray wood that had become lodged beneath the jagged angle of my broken nails and split cuticles. I had not been clawing at the walls in a frantic attempt to escape this 4-walled prison, the exit to which had not been locked by unseen hands. I turned my eyes slowly, carefully towards the coffee table. A flickering shadow moved just outside the corner of my eyes. I did not look up. There was nothing there to fear. I studied the wooden legs of the coffee table, my eyes locked on the gracefully arching legs of the coffee table as they reached from the bottom of the table down to the floor. Nothing else in the room moved. The only sound was the stirring of the wind, somehow inexplicably wailing through small sounds in unseen cracks in the windowless walls. I did not look up. There was nothing there to fear. There was an unopened book of matches on the table. They had a white cover with a blue stripe. I could not quite make out the small black letters that followed alongside the thick blue stripe. The surface of the coffee table had a shiny veneer, almost reflective. I did not look up. There was nothing there to fear. I turned my attention back to my hands. My hairs stood up against the bone-white skin of my knuckles. They were not clenched in fear. I studied the pattern of the crease on the sides of my closed fist. I played with a loose thread on my shirt and fiddled the broken laces of my shoes. I did not look up. There was nothing there to fear. Slowly, cautiously, I turned my attention back to the table, back to the mirror-like surface of the table's top. The howling of the wind through unseen cracks began to take shape from a whisper to a howl. But I did not look up. There was nothing there to fear. I placed the palms of my hands over the flats of my ears, just to feel the rough calluses against the smooth flesh of my outer ear. I did not clap my hands over my ears to drown out the sound that wasn't there. I hunched over, hunkering my head down between my legs to stare at a sudden small tear I had found in the knees of my jeans. I did not look up. There was nothing there to fear. I tried to think back, to distract myself with thoughts of a happier time. But memories of things that were never there came crawling from the shadowy corners of my imagination to remind me of things that once did not lurk just behind the closet door. I did not look up. There was nothing there to fear. I pulled a pad of unlined paper and a pen from the pack that rested beside me. I did not look up. There was nothing there to fear. The cloth of the pack was rough and green, some sort of military canvas. I placed the point of the pen upon the paper, allowing the black ink to bleed into the paper. I move the pen across the page. Do not look up. There is nothing there to fear.